Rick Santorum is not crazy. He'd make a great VP. Rick Santorum is not crazy. He'd make a great VP. Thank you for tuning in to the Black Political Buzz Network, and my name is Laurel. I am tuning in today following the amazing, breathtaking GOP debate in Las Vegas on Tuesday night, December 15th. I was there live. It was amazing. It was amazing. It was amazing to see these intelligent, competent, energetic, breathtaking, on-fire candidates on the GOP ticket for 2016. It was just amazing to be there among all that energy. I was there in the midst of many media professionals, and it was just a wonderful time. And I just thank God for the opportunity to have been there. But I want to focus in on a candidate who is not getting much traction in the media. This candidate was on fire in 2012, but he's not getting much traction in the 2016 election season. And I want to give him some kudos. I'm going to give him some kudos. I'm going to give him some traction on my network. And that is Rick Santorum. Rick Santorum is a former U.S. Senator. He's from Pennsylvania. Served in the U.S. Senate for more than one term. I think at least 2 terms. And he's a born-again Christian. And he was a GOP presidential candidate in the 2012 election. Now, of course, we know that Mitt Romney became the nominee for the GOP in 2012. But Rick Santorum was soaring at one point. I mean, he was like, in 2012, at one point he was soaring very high in the national polls. And then the mainstream media, and then President Obama's campaign staff and the mainstream media began to make Rick Santorum look crazy and stupid because of his Christian ideology. Now, you know how President Obama and the liberal mainstream media will try to make Christians and evangelicals appear to be crazy and unstable mentally. For some reason, the media picks on Christians. They take up for the liberal mainstream media protects radical Muslims. They protect radical Islam, but they pick on and torment and mock and profane Christianity in this nation. So, Rick Santorum, during the debate last night in Las Vegas, in my opinion, he did a great job. Not just in speaking, but he did a great job in breaking down the radical Islamist ideology. Rick Santorum did a great job during the Tuesday night debate, GOP debate in Las Vegas. He did a great job at breaking down and explaining the radical Islamist ideology. And he also made some very valid points in that ISIL, which is the radical Islamist terrorist group currently terrorizing the Middle East and also the U.S. I repeat, the U.S. because there are ISIL members. There are active ISIL members currently on U.S. soil. They're over here already. They're not over here in abundance, but they're all over here. We do have ISIL members currently living and operating on U.S. soil because they came in through our borders, because this current administration has relaxed our borders and ISIL is here. Like that couple in San Bernardino, California, that woman, the wife of that San Bernardino couple that killed those 14 people in San Bernardino, California 2 weeks ago, the woman was an ISIL bride. She was an ISIL bride. And my eyes itching, y'all, so I'm sorry I'm scratching it, but anyway. The woman who came in to the U.S. borders from Pakistan. She was from Pakistan. She was an ISIL bride. She married an American citizen, helped to further radicalize him. He was already radical to a point, but she further radicalized him. And then what happened? 14 dead innocent people in San Bernardino, California. So Rick Santorum, he doing the debate Tuesday night in Las Vegas, he broke it down. If you were listening, now if you were somewhere in La La Land, picking at and mocking Rick Santorum, trying to make him look like he's a crazy Christian, trying to, make it appear as though he's just bitter because he wasn't a nominee in 2012, or trying to make it appear as if he's loony when he's not. The man is not bitter and the man is not loony. It's obvious that Rick Santorum has done a lot of research on the terrorist group ISIL and their radical Islamist ideology, because they want to dominate the world through radical Islamist ideology. They are extremists, and they're brutal, deadly extremists. In other words, you submit to radical Islam or we cut your head off. Well, Rick Santorum last night made some valid points. He said that he's concerned about sending U.S. troops into Syria because for some reason ISIL wants to lure U.S. troops into Syria because ISIL has this crazy ideology. They're trying to start Armageddon, World War III. They want it to be a war of the great apocalypse. They want an apocalyptic war, if I'm saying that correctly. They believe in the apocalypse, Armageddon, World War III. They want to go off into paradise, meet Allah in paradise through this Armageddon apocalyptic war, World War III. And they want to do it with the West. They want to use the West to basically commit jihadist suicide. They want our troops. They want to use our troops for two purposes. They want to use U.S. troops in Syria. They don't really want U.S. troops to fight them in other areas of the Middle East. Only Syria. Why Syria? Because Syria in the Bible is the beginning of human civilization. According to the Bible, God's word, which I do believe is true. God's word is true. So, ISIL wants to lead U.S. troops into Syria. And they want to use U.S. troops for two reasons. Human sacrifices and to bring about Armageddon. I repeat, ISIL wants to use U.S. troops for two reasons. Number one, as human sacrifices in Syria, and to bring about Armageddon in Syria. And last night, Rick Santorum, he honed in on this. Now, I believe we need to send U.S. ground troops over to the Middle East to help defeat ISIL. I believe that the United States needs to send over U.S. ground troops to the Middle East to help defeat ISIL, but not do it in Syria. It should not be done in Syria. It should not be done in Syria. And whoever believes, whichever candidate running for president in 2016, listen very carefully. Voters, listen carefully to the candidates who were on that stage in Las Vegas last night. The 2016 GOP candidates on that stage last night in Las Vegas who were honing in, and they kept stressing to send U.S. ground troops over to Syria. Listen in. Those are the candidates you want to mark off your list. The candidates who were on the stage Tuesday night in Las Vegas debating, who did not stress sending U.S. ground troops into Syria, those were candidates who knows what ISIL's evil plan is for our troops. But the candidates who kept stressing, send troops to Syria, send troops to Syria, send troops to Syria, those are candidates you need to watch out for. You need to watch out, pause, press the pause button, and watch out for those candidates, because those candidates that are stressing sending U.S. troops to Syria to fight ISIL are not doing it because they want to get rid of ISIL. I repeat, the 2016 GOP candidates who are stressing sending U.S. troops into Syria to fight ISIL are not doing so because they want to get rid of ISIL. It's a trap. They've been bought and sold by Middle Eastern money. That candidate or those candidates have been bought and sold by Middle Eastern money. And they're leading our troops into suicide. But Rick Santorum, he said, I believe strongly in sending U.S. ground troops into the Middle East, just as I do. Just as Black Political Buzz does. But he said not to Syria. And I totally agree. It's a trap for our U.S. troops. Our U.S. troops can easily defeat ISIL in the Middle East, but not in Syria. We don't need to go into Syria. We should not be removing President Bashar Assad from power in Syria, because if we do, it's going to leave another vacuum in the Middle East and make the Middle East more unstable, just as Libya and Iraq now are, and Yemen. And we don't need to lead U.S. troops into Syria. Both are suicidal missions. To remove Bashar Assad from power in Syria, suicide mission. To send U.S. troops over to Syria, suicide mission. We can defeat ISIL, but we need to stay out of Syria. Take the land back around Syria. Take back land that ISIL has stolen from around Syria, that borders Syria. Take back the oil fields that ISIL has stolen. Cut off the money from ISIL. Take back their weapons. But don't lead troops into Syria. Don't lead U.S. troops into Syria. And don't remove Bashar Assad from power. These are the things that Rick Santorum kept talking about on stage Tuesday night during the GOP debate in Las Vegas. I hope you were listening. He's not crazy. He's not bitter. The man is intelligent. He's done his research. He's done his homework and his research on the Middle Eastern region, and he's done his homework on ISIL. I hope you were listening and not laughing at Rick Santorum on Tuesday night during the GOP debate in Las Vegas. Thank you for tuning into the Black Political Buzz Network. My name is Laura. Have a great evening and goodbye.